I know you guys have been waiting on this one, and here it is. So the Eliud Owalo basketball tournament happened this weekend. It was a 3-day extravaganza, kicked off on Friday afternoon, and we saw games happening in multiple venues on Saturday and Sunday. 2 champions were crowned. I must say congratulations to the Nairobi City Thunder. They have managed to prove what we already knew, that they're the unbeatable force in Kenyan basketball. And also credit to the ZTEC Sparks team. They managed to beat KPA. KPA had proven, the KPA women's team had proven to be a team that was unbeatable. I remember the only time I've seen them lose was when they played in continental basketball. But when it came to domestic basketball, I don't think that this is a team that has taken a loss since 2022. Since that game one against the Equity Hawks, I've not seen the KPA Dockers women's team take an L like the way they took last weekend, about 2 days ago. So I must say this event lived up to some of my expectations, because with the huge financial commitment that the Eliud Owalo Foundation had put into this event, I must say it was highly watched and it had a lot of hype. And this format really helped just shape and just create that buzz in Kenyan basketball as we know it. Because in the past few years, there's been an increase and there's been a surge in people just having an interest in watching basketball games, following up on Kenyan basketball, and I can witness that, and also I can be a witness to that, and also attest to the fact that there's been generated interest, fan interest, and also stakeholder interest in people following basketball. And in this video, I'll just give a perspective and also give an opinion and a view that you might have not seen, because going into the games, they were highly competitive. I must say that that Equity Dumas versus Thunder game was actually quite controversial. That game was decided by 1 point, and later the game, I saw Eugene going up for a 3, and the refs didn't call him for a foul and send him to the line to shoot 3 free throws. But hey, I don't know what went on that one, but that was the closest the Equity Dumas were in beating the Nairobi City Thunder. That was the second time they were meeting, and not the second time, but that was the third time I've seen them meet. And the games that were very close was the one that they played in the regular season, the game that was very clutch. They played in the Nyayo gym, and this one that they played on Friday, very, very close, decided by 1 point, and the game will have gone either way to even end the winning streak. But these two teams were able to meet again in the finals, and the game just went to overtime, and the rest is history. I know the Equity Dumas, they had a valiant effort winning the game, but unfortunately, the Nairobi City Thunder, this squad is just spectacular. And a lot of people, even I saw, were looking towards a competitive game, and they were looking towards seeing the Nairobi City Thunder go ahead and win it. And the Nairobi City Thunder, they are the best team in Kenyan basketball, as I mentioned earlier. Even I made a couple of videos just documenting how good they were. And I must say, no team right now, as currently constructed in Kenya, can be able to take them down. And right now, given the fact that they were coming off a very good win versus the Cobra Sport team about a week ago, then this tournament where they went ahead and beat everyone, I must say, they're just preparing and gearing towards the playoffs. And one thing that I even saw when I made the previous video, because I made a video about 10 days ago just talking about the Eliud Owalo tournament. I felt like the whole branding was just to market the Eliud Owalo tournament. And the Eliud Owalo Foundation, Eliud Owalo himself, and the KBF were just being used as content to be able to create an atmosphere where Eliud Owalo can just give back to the community using this tournament. And he did exactly that, because you could even see on their YouTube page, it was more about the Eliud Owalo tournament. You didn't see, when the games were happening, the only graphics you would only see changing or the games graphics in the videos, but the title of the video was just Eliud Owalo tournament. this, that, and the other. So honestly, I must say, KBF, they need to take a lot of notes from this, because this tournament, it only happened 3 days. And after Sunday, after the champion was crowned, that's just about it. And even there were a couple of questions I even asked even in the previous video. If, let's say, for example, KBF were going ahead after this tournament and they're trying to recreate the same atmosphere, how will they go about it? Because Eliud Owalo has shown the blueprint on how to be able to make this sport marketable. And the reason as to why things happened the way they were, especially when it came to broadcasting and facilitation, branding, it was all money oriented. The Eliud Owalo Foundation poured in a lot of money for this event, something that KBF doesn't have. And KBF, being the league that is very broken, is waiting for handouts. They are the ones that they are the people that were used for free content. And now, because the tournament has come to a close, because a lot of people threw the whole kitchen sink at this, especially Eliud Owalo with his branding, everything, and he has spent a lot of money and poured in a lot of money into this event, this 3-day event. Does this event change the way people look at KBF teams? I don't think so, because if you look at the grand scheme of things, the only teams that were featured were the top 6 teams. There are other teams that are there. I'm not saying that they all must be included. There are also other divisions and also other leagues. You've got the Div 2 in men, Div 1 in men. You've got the Div 1 in the women's side. We have the NBA. So there's a lot of things that need to fall in place so that you can be able to recreate the same atmosphere. And I don't think that it's sustainable for a federation like KBF, because number one, they don't have a revenue structure. They don't have a way to generate money. If you're depending on gate fees, 200, 500, VVIPs, 1,000, man, you're not going to get anywhere, because not everyone is going to pay that much. No, not many people are interested like that to watch. And even if you did a head count, you'll see that the thing that I've also stressed on and mentioned even a few months, even a few years now, is there are too many fun players. The basketball community is too small to be able to even expand, because the reason as to why it's too small is everyone knows each other. Everyone knows the people that are going to turn up and watch the games, and majority of the time you'll see the players who actually play in the league are still the players who are still fans. So there's also that, and also attracting a big audience, having people invest in basketball at a fun level. That's something that is not there and has not yet been established. And this is something that I've stressed early, even in previous videos. Now that the Eliud Owalo tournament came to a close, what changes are going to happen? Is KBF going to streamline their policies so that they can attract investors? Are they going to steer clear from scandals? Are they going to be people of integrity? Are there going to be people that are going to step aside when they can't do anything? No, that's not going to happen, because it's something that is difficult for them, because they know that they are rotten inside, but they'll still stay in that post, and they'll still stay with that position of power, and they're still waiting for somebody else to come and save them. Eliud Owalo came in a few months ago, gave the Morans kit, gave the Morans money, and they flew out and they had that poor performance they had. Now he's come with his strategies and he has given KBF a boost through his tournament. And this content that is being gotten from the tournament is Eliud Owalo Foundation content. It's not even actual KBF content. KBF just came in and offered the teams, and they offered the teams and they offered the infrastructure. But you could see the main financials Eliud Owalo. So the thing is, KBF, after this event, will still revert back to how they have been conducting themselves. They'll still revert back to how things were. They will still struggle with fixtures. They will still struggle with venues. They will still struggle with power at the venues. And that's just about it. You'll see them being chased away from venues like Nyayo Stadium. When they are supposed to have games there, they are supposed to be first priority, but they're not going to get anything. Because you could see, if the Ulinzi versus Equitiduma's game had cancelled like 3 times because there was an inavailability of the venue and a power outage. Then lo and behold, you could see the Cobra versus Thunder game happening. Then you could see the Thunder versus, not even the Thunder, but the Equitidumas versus the Cobra game happening. KBF just don't have the resources. What they should have asked from Eliud Owalo would be, now that you've been able to, if they had a single active brain cell, now that the Eliud Owalo event came to a close, now that you came in and you just gave us a glimpse of what can happen in the infrastructure that is good, because he's the Minister of ICT, so he's able to have connections that can be able to streamline processes. KBF cannot even ask, how do we streamline our fixtures? Because they already know that they are rotten and they keep mangling the fixtures and they don't want to automate this process. Why will the KBF ask Eliud Owalo, how can you streamline our basketball? How can you use strategies to improve Kenyan basketball, to make through technology, to make us to get to that level where a lot of people are investing in it? They will not ask that question. They will just wait for the money to come in and be used as free content. So why wouldn't they ask now, Eliud Owalo, now you have come in and helped us with giving us the exposure through your foundation. Will you come and still invest in the playoffs? Because I even questioned the motives of this, because I questioned the tournament even when it was announced, and I felt like this tournament, the KBF players, KBF are just being used for free content. Because if you take a closer look at it, you will see that when Eliud Owalo goes back and audits how his foundation has impacted Kenyans, he'll turn back to this tournament, he'll turn back to all the outreach programs. Maybe when he goes out there and he vies for any government seat and he says, what has he done for the youth? This is what he's going to pull up. He's going to say, I created a platform that does this, this and that, promotes basketball, and, he's going to get elected. So the thing is, we are focused on short-term gains, especially when I say we is Kenyans. But when I'm talking about this thing right here, I'm talking about KBF. KBF is focused on short-term gains, and they don't care about creating systems and structures that last the long term. Because the short-term gain is this tournament happening. But in the long term, can we be able to streamline and not be embarrassed as a league, both in the domestic level, in the continental level, and in the international level, considering the fact that the 3x3 team embarrassed Team Kenya in the whole world? Even I made a video talking about how they embarrassed Team Kenya, which was a very bad affair, and I must say it left a lot of question marks in terms of the level of skill that is being developed in Africa. Because when Team Kenya went to Japan representing Africa, we laid an egg there. But it is what it is. So that's a topic for another video. But all I'm just saying is there's a lot that needs to be fixed, and there's a lot that is being swept under the rug. I know a lot of people got excited, especially when it came to money, but in the long term, have we won as Kenyan basketball? Have we streamlined our structures? Have we been able to find a way to have consistent sponsors who can come in and support the league? None. And KBF are not worried about that. They're just worried about handouts. And I feel like the Eliud Owalo Foundation offered them a handout, and because they were broke, they took it and accepted it. So that's just my opinion, and I'll just keep making videos of this nature talking about this. But I just said, let me just give you my opinion on what happened and what I saw. Because the game, I don't have to tell you anything about the game, because the game, we all witnessed the absolute madness that happened, especially in that final game where the Equitidumas versus Thunder, they clashed. The game went to overtime, and the Thunder just showed why they're the best team in Kenyan basketball. And also shout out to Grifo, he hit that 3 to send the game to overtime. At some point I thought that the team was dead in the water, but anyway, it is what it is. So before even we close out, there was a couple of things that I picked up, especially when in the interwebs. And I must say it was funny. It was actually funny and insane. So without further ado, man, let me just go in it. So Eliud Owalo said he was impressed with the quality of basketball shown in the tournament. Then he said, end quote, we want to go back to the 80s and 90s where we had many of these tournaments and we saw what it did to the national team. We want to augment the efforts by the Kenya Basketball Federation to help our teams improve. So that was actually a very puzzling statement that I had there. I don't know, are you supposed to be updating our systems, moving and adapting to the game, or do you want to go back decades and eons ago and take blueprints on what happened? Because if you take that blueprint, it's not going to work in this year, and you have to understand the things that you need to change. The things that need to change is the overall leadership in Kenyan basketball, especially the Kenya Basketball Federation, because the Kenya Basketball Federation is the regulatory body that governs basketball. And as far as I'm concerned, their reputation right now is in tatters. I know this event has tried to make them save face and divert attention to their mishaps, especially when it comes to the Kenya Morans and Team Kenya. And it's not working still, because every single time that these things happen, it gives a sense of relief and shows that they're doing something. But in the grand scheme of things, when the playoffs start, you will see them struggling. You will see them not have even you'll see them struggle with the basics. You'll see them not have any good marketing equipment. You'll see them depend on other people to do marketing, and you will see other small media outfits come out and try to people please for them, because you could even see the other media outfits that cover basketball there trying to people please and butter up to the Eliud Owalo Foundation, hoping that they can get a job there. So it is what it is. So it's all full of Kenyan basketball, full of people pleasers and people who have focused on short-term gains. So that's just all I have to say about this. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section what you think about this. This video was long, and I must say I just said let me just sit down and just vent this and just get this out of the way so that you guys can just understand my point of view. So if you guys like the video, make sure you leave your feedback down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. Just want to get to that 10,000 mark. That's my goal. It's a crazy goal, but it's my goal. And I'm out. Peace.